He was in a hospital bed when I saw him for the last time, but I didn't know it was the last time. He was weaker, thinner, his voice soft, like paper breaking. The room smelled like medicine, like bleach, like something that tries to keep life inside a place where life is already half gone. He smiled at me, a tired smile, but still warm like the old days. I sat beside him and I wanted to talk for hours, but my chest was heavy. I felt something strange inside, like part of me already knew what was coming. I held his hand, cold and fragile, and we talked about normal things, the weather, my work, what I ate for lunch. We acted like everything was normal, but nothing was normal anymore. He reached for a small notebook on the table next to him. It was old, brown, a little broken. He said, "Son, I want you to keep this." I didn't understand what it was. I put it in my bag without opening it. I thought there could be time later. I thought he could get better. We never think the last moment is the last moment. We always believe tomorrow will give us another chance. But tomorrow came and he was gone. Just like that. No warning, no goodbye. The day he died, the world felt silent. People walked, cars moved, the sun rose, life continued. But inside me, everything stopped. I did not cry at first. I only sat in my room, staring at the wall, feeling like a child lost in a big, empty world. Later that night, I remembered the notebook, the one he gave me. I opened it slowly, afraid of what I would find, afraid of feeling the pain I was trying to hide. Inside, I saw his handwriting, shaky but familiar. The first page said, "If you're reading this, it means I am no longer there to talk to you. So listen to my words slowly. Read them with patience. Repeat them. Keep them alive inside your heart." I felt something explode inside me: sadness, love, regret, everything at the same time. I continued reading. He wrote about his life, his mistakes, his regrets, his happiness. He said he wished he spent more time laughing, more time loving, less time worrying about small things. He said he worked too much, tired himself too often, forgot to enjoy the simple mornings with coffee and sunlight through the window. He told me not to repeat his mistakes. He wrote, "Do not wait to be happy. Do not wait for the perfect moment. Life is short like a candle in the wind. Love now, forgive now, speak now, live now." I read those lines again and again, like they were the only truth I ever needed. Then there was something even more powerful, something unexpected. He wrote, "When you were a child, you made me want to be a better man. I was never perfect, but every day I tried. Even when I failed, you gave my life meaning. You were the greatest thing I ever did." I put the notebook on my chest and cried like I had not cried in years. Not a small tear, but deep, painful crying that comes from the soul. Because in those lines, I felt his love more than ever before. In life, he was tough, quiet, not very emotional. But here, in his last message, he opened his heart wide. He gave me the words he never said when he was alive. After I read his message, something inside me shifted. The world looked different, like someone cleaned a dirty window, and now everything was clear, bright, real. I started thinking about my own life, about how often I say later, about how often I forget to hug the people I love, how many dreams I keep in my pocket, waiting for a perfect moment that never arrives. I decided to change. I quit the job that made me miserable. I called all friends I stopped talking to. I visited my mother every week and hugged her longer. I told people I loved them without fear or shame. I took risks, small ones, big ones, because life is too short to play safe forever. And every night before sleeping, I opened the notebook and read a page, one page each night. I wanted his voice to stay alive between the lines. I wanted his wisdom to guide me. even if he was no longer here to speak. I started painting again, something I loved as a kid, but abandoned because life became busy, serious, important. When the brush touched the canvas, I felt my father's hand on me, steady, warm, guiding. I applied to an art program, even though I was scared. I traveled to places he wanted to visit, but never did. Mountains, beaches, small towns with colorful markets. In every place, I took a picture and taped it inside the notebook, like we were there, traveling together. I learned to cook his favorite dishes and invited family to eat. We laughed, cried, remembered the stories of him. The house felt full of life again, like he had never left. Sometimes, late at night, I walked to the old tree in the backyard where he used to drink tea. I sat there with the notebook and read aloud as if he was sitting beside me. I felt close to him, like death only took his body, but not his presence. There was one page, a single sentence, that changed everything deeper than anything else. It said, if I had one more day, I would spend it with the people I love, not with my fears. That sentence became my compass. When I doubted myself, I read it. When I felt afraid, I repeated it aloud. When I wanted to give up, it brought me strength. I realized I wasted years worrying about money, about opinions, about mistakes that did not matter. I realized life is about connection, human, fragile, beautiful connection, about moments, louder, tears, memories, not things, not a status, not perfection. 10 years have passed. The notebook is old now. Some pages are soft, like cloth. Some words are fading, but I still read it slowly, carefully, like holding a precious piece of life. Every year on his birthday, I sit in the backyard under that old tree, open the notebook, and I thank him. I thank him for loving me, even in silence. I thank him for leaving me his heart in words. I thank him for changing my life after he left this world. His body is gone, but his message lives inside me. And because of that, he's still here. And every time I tell this story, every time someone listens and feels something, I feel like my Father speaks through me once more. His last message was not for me. It was for anyone who has ever lost, loved, regretted, or dreamed. Anyone still trying to find light in the dark. Anyone who needs to be reminded to live now.